What's up, guys? This is Seville, back with another NECA Real Toys Ultimate Action Figure review. Today, I'm going to talk about the Fugitive Predator, based on the new movie. As usual with the NECA Ultimate line, the flap on the front does open so that you can look through the window to see the actual figure. Which is great for inbox collectors, but for the rest of us, it's time to get him out of his package. Just real quick before we get back to it, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and comment below. And if you want to see more from me, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. Now that the Fugitive Predator is out of the package, I'm going to give him another rotation on the spinner, that way you can see him all the way around. As you can see, he does come with an extra head and 2 extra arms to swap out. Honestly though, I do wish they'd packed in another pulse blast type effect, and maybe another glaive or some other kind of melee weapon. Other than that though, I'm liking what I see so far. And now, let's take a closer look. NECA certainly does not disappoint when it comes to the detail on these figures, as it is all excellently crafted and textured throughout the figure, which maintains a very consistent look, ensuring that it is indeed high quality sculpting. The armor on his torso is actually an additional piece on top of the main sculpt, and it can be lifted up to a point, but probably not taken off, not without, destroying it. The straps and the pads here on the thigh are the same way. They're an additional piece on top of the legs. Moving back up to the gauntlets, the blades are handled a bit differently this time. Instead of being retractable within the gauntlet, these just come off, with the little flat piece here fitting snugly into the slot on the gauntlets. And as you can see now, each blade is entirely separate, which does apply to both arms. Speaking of his arms, they come off near the elbow in order to switch to the bare forearms. This set of arms fits a bit more snugly. It was pretty hard to get them on there right. But they do indeed carry on the sculpt and paint details of the rest of the figure. On the head, it does kind of look like the mask could just come off, but it really doesn't. Instead, well, it's supposed to come off pretty easily, but instead of the peg staying in the neck like it's supposed to, it's actually still in the head. I couldn't get the peg out, so this is the other head just sitting on the body of the Predator. It's not plugged in. It does look great, but without a really good pair of pliers that I can get that peg out with, it's really not going to do me any good. Okay, I've got the mast head back on there correctly, and it is fitting snugly. But the fact that the peg is detaching from the neck and not from the head is kind of aggravating, because unless I can ever get that out, I'm never going to be able to use the alternate head. However, now it's time to move on to the articulation. His head does turn side to side, and his shoulders are supposed to spin all the way around, but the armor gets in the way. They can also move outward, but that's restricted too. He does have rotation at the biceps, but it's a little strange because it's underneath the bicep rather than above it. And it does look like there's supposed to be a second elbow joint just under the bicep, but either it doesn't work at all, or it's just really, really stiff. The lower elbow joint works fine though. Plus, they do rotate where the arms detach, as well as in the wrist, which also have the hinge joint as well. He does have the ab crunch underneath the armor, and it does twist as well, as does the waist. The hips do spread out pretty far, and can rotate in the same joint. The double knees also work pretty well, and the ankles do have full rotation, plus a pretty good pivot. For the sake of comparison, here is the Jungle Hunter Predator. So with them side by side, you can see that the Fugitive is just a little bit bigger, and the attention to detail are pretty much on par with each other. Now though, it's time to run through my guidelines for a complete and fair review. This is a brand new sculpt with a lot of great detail that is very accurate to the character. It is in scale with the line, and does come with accessories, but they don't work quite as well as they should. Also, it doesn't quite meet the 20 points of articulation. Overall, it doesn't seem that fragile, but the way the neck peg came out does kind of bother me. It does balance really well, and the price is fair for the NECA Ultimate line. With both GameStop and Target now carrying NECA figures, they should be pretty easy to find. which all leads to the Fugitive Predator getting a 4-star rating, meaning it is awesome and worth owning for casual fans. So I can still recommend this figure, it's really just not as good as I hoped. If you like this review and you have not already subscribed, please do so. That way, you'll be notified when I do my next review featuring Elias from the WWE Elite Collection. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.